This is my unhinged rant that Kathleen Kennedy has driven me to. So we really should think about, do we want to build a Tatooine? Yes. The answer to that question is yes. But Kathleen Kennedy thought differently. This is Drew, and this is Comics with Drew. But today we're going to be talking about something that I really enjoy, which is Star Wars. I have had much less enjoyment of Star Wars in the last several years, mainly because Kathleen Kennedy has mismanaged the intellectual property into the ground, maybe even to the center of the planet. That's how bad it is right now. The state of Star Wars could be accurately described as analogous to Chernobyl on the side of Pompeii in the middle of Katrina. That's about the level of positivity coursing through the fans of Star Wars right now. I grew up with Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I love the original trilogy. I have drawn comics about Star Wars. I am a big science fiction fan. My wife, I'm here to tell you, my wife is tired of listening to me complaining about Star Wars. She's a Star Wars fan too, but she doesn't quite reach the level of irritation that I have presently. But honestly, I'm a pretty open-minded Star Wars fan, but this last couple of years has really shaken my faith in it and has really made me upset, mainly for the lost opportunities. The lost opportunities to see things like Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill in a scene together in a new movie that pays homage to the original trilogy and treats their characters and their story and their legacy with respect. That is something that we don't have anymore, and we will never have that opportunity again because of imbeciles like Kathleen Kennedy who don't seem to understand the intellectual property they are supposed to be taking care of right now. They are caretakers. They are not people there to riff off of the shoulders of giants. So, when Disney bought Star Wars for $4 billion, they were buying Star Wars, and they were buying Lucasfilm, excuse me, on the strength of the original trilogy of Star Wars, to a lesser extent the prequels, and to no extent the sequels, and they have mismanaged it and turned it into a gigantic dumpster fire. But I digress. This story is about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which was supposed to be Tatooine at the start, apparently, according to this Bleeding Cool article by Jeremy Conrad, who is reporting that Walt Disney World Vice President, former Dan Cockrell, was talking about what they decided to do when they had purchased Disney and they were wanting to update Hollywood Studios, and they decided that they were going to do a Star Wars land. It was going to be based upon Mos Eisley from Tatooine, with a cantina, a more wretched hive, of scum and villainy that you will never find anywhere else. That you could find in not the theme park, but in the Mos Eisley Tatooine themed theme park section for Star Wars. That would have been fantastic. Okay, so basically, to continue with this quote, they said they don't want to build something that all the 50 somethings remember Star Wars for. They want to build something that is going to appeal to all the upcoming generations who are going to know the new stories. Let me explain something to Kathleen Kennedy. Everybody who sees a Star Wars movie that becomes a fan of Star Wars is going to watch the original Star Wars films, and they are going to see Tatooine because it's part of the DNA of Star Wars. I can tell you that one movie that's not going to be in the Library of Congress as being culturally significant is The Last Jedi. I know a couple of movies, however, that are in the Library of Congress for being culturally significant and relevant. Those are the Star Wars films from the original trilogy. Something that's different about the Star Wars films from the original trilogy than the new sequels is that the original trilogy doesn't talk about current events at the time. We don't watch Star Wars A New Hope and hear about Jimmy Carter and the Middle East energy crisis of the late 70s. We don't hear about that. Why? Because it's not relevant. Star Wars, the original trilogy, is a space western fantasy that transports people into a galaxy far, far away. And it's a huge success for doing so. And it has one of the greatest cultural impacts in history because of that. And you have taken it and driven it into the ground because basically I'm going to give you guys an analogy because I like analogies. Maybe this is a metaphor. I'm not quite sure. I'm kind of fuzzy in the details between the differences between the two. But I will tell you this. Star Wars is like bananas. Disney bought the bananas. They put Kathleen Kennedy in charge of the bananas that they bought. The bananas have big fans. The fans of bananas love the bananas because they can get banana splits. They can get banana bread. They can get banana pudding. They can get banana flavored taffy. Banana fans love them some bananas. You know who doesn't like bananas? People who eat broccoli. The broccoli eaters don't like bananas because they eat vegetables, and bananas are fruit. And even though broccoli eaters may occasionally, in a pinch, eat a banana when they just need something to eat, that's not their jam. Okay? They don't like bananas. They like broccoli. So when you buy Star Wars and you try to market Star Wars to people who are not Star Wars fans, then they are not going to appreciate it, and you're going to alienate the people who are Star Wars fans in the first place. We're talking about these 50-year-olds that she's sneering about. We're talking about these 50-year-olds, these 40-year-olds, these 30-year-olds. These are the people who dress up in bathrobes and walk around with plastic swords. And they will also spend hundreds of dollars to make sure that those bathrobes look like authentic Jedi clothing. And they will get authentic looking movie prop replicas of these lightsabers. They will go out and they will spend thousands of dollars on Darth Vader suits and Stormtrooper suits. So you're trying to tell me that you don't want to build a theme park attraction based on Tatooine because it's not going to be popular and it's not going to appeal to the new fans? Well, here's the deal. The people that you're taking a dump on, let's just be perfectly blunt about it, these are the people that would be taking their kids to these theme parks, spending thousands of dollars, and building memories with their children about how great Star Wars is. And you have decided that that's just not good enough for your purposes, Kathleen. And that's the problem. What angers me the most about Star Wars and the state of Star Wars is the missed opportunity that we could have had. We could have had, like I said, Harrison and Carrie and Mark and Peter Mayhew. We could have had them all in a wonderful send-off kind of situation. But no, we had to kill them all because of some stupid, misguided dictate by an imbecile to try to appeal to people who don't like it in the first place. Okay? Imagine, okay, here's a great comparison. I'm from Orlando, and in Orlando is Universal Studios Resort, Universal Studios Florida Resort. Universal bought the rights to Harry Potter for theme park purposes from J.K. Rowling, and you have two Harry Potter themed sections of Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, and they are phenomenal. If you ever get a chance to come to Orlando, you should definitely go visit these two places if you're Harry Potter fans. But the thing is that Universal respected the IP. Imagine, because what Disney has done. Imagine if Universal had taken Harry Potter, they bought Harry Potter intellectual property rights, the whole world, and then they made a movie where Harry Potter is a 50-year-old guy, and he hates life, and he's a Death Eater, and then he burns down Hogwarts, and they create a new land called Fartface Land with flying broomsticks, and said, that's for the new fans, because we want to appeal to Simpsons fans who like fart jokes or something like that. That's what Disney has done with Star Wars. That's what Kathleen Kennedy has done with Star Wars, and it is tragic. It is absolutely tragic. Star Wars, the intellectual property, is important artistic cultural contributions to this society and to the world. Okay? It's like if you bought the Sistine Chapel. If you buy the Sistine Chapel, you're buying it because of Michelangelo's fantastic masterpieces on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. What Disney has done is they have bought the Sistine Chapel and then opened up a gift shop on the side and hired a bunch of slobbering imbeciles to bust out their Crayolas and write on the bathroom stalls. And they say, this is for the new fans. This is the same thing. No, it's not. And it will never be so. And until you can get it through your dense craniums, then Star Wars is never going to reach the heights that it once was. The Star Wars merchandising is in the toilet. Full disclosure, I have been to Galaxy's Edge. I love Galaxy's Edge. I love Disney, honestly. This isn't a rant about Galaxy's Edge, and it's not even a rant about Disney. I love Disney, and I love the theme parks, and I love Star Wars, and I love Galaxy's Edge. But Galaxy's Edge is popular because you walk in there and you stand in front of a life-size Millennium Falcon, and it is a spiritual experience for Star Wars fans. Okay? The successful aspects of Galaxy's Edge are the ones that pay homage to the original trilogy. When you go to the Rise of the Resistance, you know why it works? Because it puts you on a Star Destroyer. Okay? It's like being in a movie, and that's what people want to see when they go to a theme park. They want to be in a movie. They want to be in the movie that they've spent time with. They want to go to the cantina. They want to order a nice tall glass of blue milk, not from a space walrus, but blue milk from the cantina, just like Aunt Beru's. And they want to get on the Millennium Falcon and fly it around, and they want to enjoy with their family and their friends the stories that they've lived their entire lives in a galaxy far, far away. And Kathleen Kennedy has wrecked that. And I don't want to get into The Last Jedi because I got out of it. And just when I thought I was out of it, this article pulled me back in, just like Al Pacino. So that's my opinion about this. When you say, like she does here, that the new people aren't going to know about Tatooine, the reality is, until the end of time, anybody who watches anything with Star Wars and wants to become a fan of Star Wars is going to know about Tatooine. That's just the reality. It's not complicated. Okay? Right? Taking Star Wars films and turning them into your ideological polemics because you don't understand the nature of the story and what makes it important is not going to serve the fans well for Star Wars. Okay? You say you want to appeal to new fans. Why don't you just appeal to the fans that already pay for it? It's not hard. They love it. There's no reason to try to go out and get new fans. Okay? All right? That's the bottom line. It doesn't matter whether you like those people or not. What matters is that they're willing to spend money on the product that you have purchased and that you're putting out. So, I don't want to make this a political thing, but it's hard to overlook. It's hard to look past the fact that there seems to be a political attitude about the way Star Wars is being run. Okay? Where the wrong people are fans. Well, for as far as business is concerned, it doesn't matter if they're the wrong people. It just matters that they are people. And they want Star Wars like they've always known it, which is about ordinary people overcoming great obstacles. It's not about people who are instantaneously superheroes for no reason that fit a particular demographic. Okay? Star Wars is about stories that talk about the human experience. And that's what people want to see. They don't want to see deconstruction of it. Anyway, I've already gone on too long about this. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.